7:43 this morning. More than a quarter of Duval County students don't graduate on time or even at all. But groups like Communities in Schools of Jacksonville, they're working to change that. And it certainly helps thousands of at-risk students stay on course for graduation each and every year. Community in Schools CEO Steve Gilbert is joining us now, along with former student, and it's Brenna?
Yes.
Gail, which is a beautiful name. I just wanted to make sure I didn't mispronounce it. Good morning to both of you, and thank you for being here. Do appreciate it. If I could start with you, Steve, because I know that you graduated from high school and Community in Schools really helped you. I want to hear your story in just a minute. But for those of our viewers who are not as familiar with Communities in Schools, if you could explain what Communities in Schools does.
Sure. Yeah. The good news is the graduation rate in Duval County is improving. 71% of the students graduated last year, which is about a 4.5% increase over the previous year. Communities in Schools is embedded in 38 schools, serving over 6,400 students a year in one of our 4 programs: mentoring, literacy, student enrichment, and also our after-school program, which is a really big program here in the city. So Communities in Schools is part of the solution. We're working with great partners at United Way, the Duval County School System, and the Jacksonville Children's Commission. And the students that need our support are getting it through our programs.
It truly takes a village. I've said very oftentimes, you know, because sometimes, like in your case, for example, there might not be a real strong parental involvement at home, which makes, you know, your teachers and educators even that much more important. Tell me a little bit about your story and how you got involved with Communities in Schools, because I know at one point you were at a point where you had tried to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. In 10th grade is whenever I was introduced to Communities in Schools, and I was also going through that hard time, and I had been going through that since middle school, and everything had just led up to then.
Sure.
And it took me sitting down with Marianne Foster, who is the advocate at Frank H. Peterson, and she told me face to face, she's like, that life's not for you, you know, you deserve more than that. Do you realize that you have more for you? And then just from then on, she mentored me. She took me under her wing as well as 200 other students. And she got me involved with tutoring and other mentoring, and got me hooked up with Take Stock in Children, which is a
fantastic group. Oh, it's wonderful. Sure. Are there, for students who might be watching or even their parents, is there some hesitancy, do you think, among maybe middle or even high school students to getting involved and asking for help? Was that hard for you?
It was, and honestly, I count it a blessing that people came after me and introduced me to Marianne Foster, because I would have never thought to even ask for help, and I think she could tell that I did have trouble even going to her sometimes, but I'm glad that she left herself open and available to me.
And that brings up such a good point too, Steve. How do you recognize who those children are? Because they may be hesitant to say, "Hey, I need some help. Help me, please," particularly to an adult who they don't necessarily know and may not have a whole lot of a trust for adults in their life.
Absolutely. We're very fortunate. We've got such great partnerships within the schools. The principals, the guidance counselors, the teachers are our greatest source of referrals. A lot of times we'll get calls at the office from parents that really are asking for extra support for their students. You know, the mission of Communities in Schools is to really empower students to stay in school and graduate, and she's a tremendous example of one of our thousands of success stories we've had over the years.
And now you've gone on, you're working on an internship program. Tell me really quick, what do you want to do?
I just want to serve God, and I'm involved in an internship at South Point Community Church, it's my church, and I'm looking to be campus missionary this year. I'm in the process of raising support and getting the training that I need, and I'm hoping that it's just a building block or a stepping stone to go globally with that. Like, I really want to take the heart of serving that I saw even in Communities in Schools and do that just all over the place. So
thank you for being here. You're beautiful, and I'm so glad that you're doing well. And thank you for all that you do for the kids.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Duval County. Do really appreciate it. And I hope that our viewers at home are watching. If you have a teenager that you know that's troubled, please call them.